But yeah, I guess we can talk about WandaVision first then, because I guess most of us have seen it. So everyone's thoughts?
Wait, Sang, if you want to like put in earphones or something.
No, it's okay.
No,
It's
it doesn't
okay.
want spoilers.
No, welcome to spoilers.
Alright, so basically, in this week's episode, more shit went down. So we finally got some color in the episode, meaning these, you know, what we can see.
The setting,
colours.
not the people.
Not people. Yep.
I think we've got less colours
Yeah.
in terms of people this time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of things where it's starting to shift the way we think about the show, because previously we'd spoken about how perhaps the reality then that's been created may not be fully under Wanda's control, but obviously now we can see that she's got some semblance of control in it for what she did to Geraldine. Yeah, so anyone else thoughts?
Yes, I thought that was a very good episode. In terms of the Geraldine thing, I think yes, she definitely has control. I feel like there might be people monitoring her, but I don't think there's people controlling her. I think she's just trying to create a world for herself of just like, a simple life, her and Vision in this fake world in a real place. And now it's like, okay, now people are clocked on, oh shit, the town has gone weird. I don't really know what it means for the people in the town, whether it means people that are in the town are the people that are in the reality.
Yeah, because I think when I was looking at one of the breakdowns of the episode, they showed that when Geraldine gets dashed out and then you see Sword, when you see the sign where it says Westview, like if you look behind it, there's still houses with like lights on and shit. So people are still there, but there's like some kind of point where it's a force field or some shit where they can obviously go through. So I don't get that either. I'm not sure how that's affecting the people and obviously the reality.
What I do think was kind of good in the episode was kind of the build up for, like, you know, when Vision does his little like monologue bit before she kind of rewinds it, and he kind of looks in camera. I was like, yeah, I like the self-realization they're playing around reality a little bit. Like, yeah, I like that.
So I don't know if anyone clocked the stuff with the bird coming to life and the butterflies, and like Wanda trying to get rid of it and stuff, like, because that wasn't her. Like, I don't know if people clocked like that was the babies doing all of that, because I didn't at first until I was watching some the babies when she was pregnant. About,
Precious?
Yeah, what you talking about?
When she was pregnant, making the rooms, and then she said, I feel all fluttery, and then the butterflies on the baby hanger thing like actually came to life and started flying away.
Well, you think the babies did that?
Yeah,
Well,
like that's the
in the womb.
Yeah, like exactly. That's how powerful they are, as far as like, because they're characters in the comics as well. And they've confirmed them kind of in the MCU, like who they're supposed to be.
Like Wiccan.
So I didn't I didn't know, like, I didn't suspect it would be the babies, but
question there.
Yeah.
If this is all in her mind, and the babies are therefore non-existent, isn't it just her?
Exactly. So this is where people are kind of saying she's kind of breaking like from the comics and stuff, because Wanda by herself can't create life. And so if the babies are actually doing all these things, so yes, it could be like a thing where it's in her mind, but it feels like she's given room for autonomy with the characters to a certain extent. But then again, we don't know. Like, again, we don't know what the dynamics are. It could just be like those babies are actually real, because it's part of that thing where I think someone has put her in that environment, because it's always suggesting babies, twins, all these things. And so now that they've gotten her to that point, they know what those babies, real or fake, can do. And so I don't know, like it's all just weird. But basically, I just know it wasn't her at that moment controlling those things, because she didn't want them there.
She didn't want the
birds, like coming like that wasn't her for sure. but I just didn't clock like why it wouldn't be. Like while I was watching it, but then I saw the breakdowns. Like, it made sense that it'd be the babies, given that they're powerful and stuff. But I just don't know how that leads into the bigger story.
There's no way them babies are real. There's no way. And they need to be fake.
Shall I tell you one thing though? When Geraldine gets dashed out, she's still wearing the same clothes that she wore in the alternate reality. So that can mean that whatever is created in that alternate reality is then can be put outside of the world. So if she's created said babies, they can be taken out and then be real.
But didn't the people there say that Geraldine didn't have a like place in that reality in the first
that's
place?
Also true, yeah.
So if she just came in, then it's like she already existed.
She might have like a in and out, like a loophole where she kind of goes in, because again there was a whole force field around it.
Wouldn't that mean then that she would come out with the same clothes that she went in with? See what I mean?
Yeah, but
depending
again,
on
in
what
that episode, that was
is.
The only thing she wore throughout.
But she was wearing stuff differently before that. So when she came around,
that's what we're saying. She could be like going like a
maybe
kind of thing.
Yeah,
she's going in,
maybe
come back every day.
But what I don't get is like, because Geraldine doesn't seem like she's there to do stuff sometimes, and then she seems like she is like when she brings up
what I
Ultron.
think happened is that obviously she went in there looking for her.
Yeah.
Obviously, when she was there, she lost her memory.
That's yeah.
I know who the fuck you are, blah, blah, but she knows she has to get to Wanda. Seems like everything that's happening is probably around Wanda. And then I think being that close to Wanda for that amount of time, like that long, in that kind of space, and I think the fact that Wanda for the first time let everything down and wasn't trying to create everything when she was talking about Pietro, I think probably allowed her to realize.
Yeah, as soon as she mentioned something from the real world, that's when Geraldine.
And you can see her accent kind of came back a little bit when she was talking about Pietro. Wanda's, her accent came out, which I don't like the English version of her. I always like her with the accent because again, there's that level of authenticity to it. Yeah. But the other thing I was going to mention is like a little minor detail is I don't think Geraldine would have come there with the sword necklace on. I think that sword thing kind of just manifests however Wanda's mind makes it, just to identify people who don't belong.
Same as the chopper, innit? The helicopter.
Exactly, because I don't think like she would like Geraldine would have like
baited herself.
Baited herself that way and like just showed herself. So I think it's like something that just manifests because even she didn't even know like how did I get there when she pointed it out. So that might be another thing where it's like whoever she's working with or working for or whatever, it's not sword. Sword seems like the opposite part.
That means that it links with the what was it? She found the helicopter that she found. That was obviously sword.
Exactly, because that when she saw the helicopter, what happened after that? It was like the B guy, right?
No. Well, Agnes popped up in it. Yeah. But then the B thing was after.
So it's like, maybe that's like her, like I don't know, like it's like her trigger warning, like someone or something coming to oppose me. That's why I think sword is on the other side of whatever it is she's got going on.
Because maybe whoever is either controlling her or whatever is trying to get her to do something. So trying to get her maybe to create something, or maybe get her to even create the babies, or trying to get her to do something where they can use her or manipulate her to do whatever, which will also affect the outside. I just don't know who, because it doesn't seem like Sword is doing that. It seems like Sword is trying to break her out of this. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Because they've always been on the opposing side of everything she's done and like realized. So that's why I think the baby. I don't know if the babies are real, not real, or whatever the aim is. But I'm just saying, if they're trying to get her to do something, the one thing we've seen throughout that they've talked about is like planting this idea of like twins and children and seeds and all of this, because like she's a twin. Apparently, Vision in the comic books is a twin. And like she gives birth to twins. Like it just seems like there's way too many things. She's
gonna have to let go from the twins in order to let go from the reality.
Like they could play like exactly, but it's like that could be the thing where she has to destroy them or let go of them in some way because she knows that's what they're after.
Or they destroy the twins the same way she destroyed Vision.
Or they use the twins like against her to make her do something. That could be the only alternative.
Exactly, that's why they're trying to force it, because again maybe she can't form any other attachment because she's got no family, nothing. Like the only thing that would give her that is something from herself, and so if they make her create that, then it's going to be hard for her to let go, and they've got some kind of leverage. I don't know. It's just. Those twins, like they're too important, I think, based on just how many things are revolving around them to just come and go. Even if they go, so to speak, like it's going to be one of these things that's recurring. Like they'll go, but then they come back in some other way, kind of thing.
I think those twins are not important at all. Like I feel like it would just be the breaking point, and then she'll have to move on. I feel like after after that moment, she will fully ascend into like becoming Scarlet Witch and that all-powerful person, because that would be the last link of, okay, I can't do this whole family shit in it, but what I can do is create all this reality bullshit. I have levels, like I've barely even tapped into that kind of stuff, because I want all this.
We're still gonna have the goofy episodes because they still have to do that Halloween costume bit from the trailers.
Because that's it as well. Because we're gonna have to see them grow up. Because I think in one of the trailers, you actually kind of you can see like a glimpse of them kind of as kids. But what I think will probably happen is it's gonna be like the kids or something happens to them where she's gonna have some kind of like realization that she can't keep having like loss, or she can't keep having like an idea that she can lose stuff or lose people that she cares about.
She can't control it.
Yeah, and then that's what's going to topple her sort of over the edge and make her try and do something drastic to make sure that doesn't happen. And then that is when whoever else is controlling her is going to...
Kind of like trying to create your own paradise.
Yeah.
And within the paradise becomes hell.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Speaking of hell, apparently Mephisto is in this somehow.
Oh, he could be someone who's controlling.
Yeah, that could be
very
true.
Influential guy.
Talking about souls and babies and
he's
shit.
a Scarlet Witch like villain in it, like in her story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's a villain in MCU really, because he's like been a villain for Black Panther and like Spider-Man and stuff.
That would be how the Agatha,
like another one of those kind of angles where like she's like a witch or whatever, or he's trying to manifest himself and he needs a baby.
But Agnes's character,
right there, made a baby. Like I don't know, like it's just
Jessica Jones season 1, Kilgrave. That is the best like influence types like thing. Hard.
That season one.
They did that sick. They did that sick.
Get back here, Jessica. But yeah, I think Agnes is for me the most interesting character, because just from that little line she says like, what is it, stop it or not now or something like that to the black guy. And I think so whatever we find from her character, I think that's going to be, I think it will be the first link that Wanda will have to whoever is controlling this, because Agnes seems like she knows what's going on, and we need to obviously know what that is. But that black guy glitching in the wall is so jokes, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, like, did you see the bad CGI behind him? Yeah, that was clearly in front of a background. Like,
oh, is it?
I think it's intentional.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like. It's not like that's where it's like that whole thing of like where she is a construct falling apart.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Because now you're gonna expect Sword to get in again. No, either through Geraldine or through someone else.
Yeah. Now Geraldine definitely has to come back, because again that's in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole who are you? You're like, oh, I'm this. Like that hasn't happened yet.
She got out. She was easily able to get in.
The first
time. So she can go in again and then
It's just strange that obviously, well not strange, but like it's good how like Vision is self-aware, even though he's created in reality. He's also like noticing that things aren't as they should be with Wanda, who should really know, but doesn't seem like she always knows. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's a strange thing that she's created. As sometimes it's as if she doesn't know she has, but then she'll just click and reverse, or she'll click and do the flip thing. Like,
it's that willful ignorance. Like, she knows. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, it's
she's
like
just trying to,
she's trying to
like
enjoy
she
the moment.
She can give him a level of control as well, because even think back to episode 1 when they were having that dinner and dude was choking. Like Vision knew someone was wrong, but he couldn't move. Like he couldn't. All of them were just stuck, like repeating a certain thing until she goes, "Vision, help him" or something like that, and then like he spurs into action. So it's one of those things where she'll give him autonomy because she doesn't want to feel like she's controlling everything he says or does, because that makes him more natural. But ultimately, she's got like veto power, kind of. As far as like, okay, I'm gonna rewrite this now because you're starting to go. Because again, like in her mind, Vision is a smart person. So it's not crazy to think he might start seeing these cracks. But whenever he gets them, she can like rewind him or stop it or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like
episode 4 predictions?
Ooh.
I think episode 4, we're going to see, it's not going to be the breakdown, but we're going to see something that she's going to want to either like reverse it or redo it, or something that's going to make her be like, okay, like something is going on that even I can't control.
They're going to go Halloween, blah blah blah. They're gonna lose the kids.
Yeah, kids dead.
I was thinking of Halloween as well, but I'm thinking we might get an episode on the other side with like those guys, because they have to pick up with all of those like security guys surrounding Geraldine and all of that.
They need to keep suspense like as much as we know. Like, as much as everyone in the fucking reality knows, they need to keep the audience on that side rather than we're on both sides trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Like, so I kind of want to.
No, but we can still have that because we won't know who is on the other side with Wanda.
Can't do it, but I'm saying it's like I kind of want to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Deal with that, and then obviously once we're finished there, we have to deal outside anyway.
Yeah.
Then whatever.
I think my predictions are we're gonna have that Halloween episode, and I think the kids are gonna. We're not gonna have like a baby phase. We're gonna have like I think they're gonna like grow really quickly.
Yeah.
And like I'm thinking we're gonna start having like Gone Girl vibes. Like if everyone's ever seen that film.
Yeah.
I know, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But so like pretty much the premise of that is. So let's say they have this manipulative woman, and then the husband, who was Ben Affleck in the film, was trying to like navigate his way to like defending himself. But at the end of the film, like they sort of get back in the same household, and then I'm guessing like with this Vision and Wanda dynamic is going to be Vision questioning everything, and then him trying to get reassurance, or him trying to like speak to Wanda like, are you also noticing these things? And then she's going to be like, what things? She's going to be either like stone-faced and like trying to ignore everything he's saying, or he's going to pick up that she's doing, like she's controlling everything, and he's going to try and get her to stop things.
Yeah.
But then she's going to start like losing herself, start like controlling the situation.
So is it the start of her as a villain?
More, I wouldn't say even as a villain, but more of her, this reality that she's built for herself cracking.
Yeah.
And her coming to the realization that even though she's tried to make this perfect utopia, she can't have it because everything she's tried to give life to, like giving Vision autonomy, like she can't have an autonomous Vision and have a utopia she wants because those two things can't coexist. So I'm thinking things are going to start unraveling in the next episode, more so because of Vision not trusting the people around, well, trying to find out what's happening to the people around him.
Maybe he finds out.
Wanda's causing.
Yeah, maybe he
and
finds out.
I think he keeps it away from Wanda as well. Like he won't go to her immediately with like all the stuff he knows because I don't know. Like he might suspect like he wants to figure it out first, not really because he wants to keep his memory intact away from Wanda. So she might start getting that sense of like, what's he not telling me, kind of thing.
I also think he's gonna start having like a detachment from the kids because like
He wasn't there, innit?
yeah, because you could already tell that because he was outside the whole time, he didn't see Geraldine leave at all. So he already, when she was like, oh no, she just left.
She even said like, oh, she left, but her back was turned, innit? Like it was like she knew exactly what she did to get her out. And
with the surrounding characters around them, they already know that this couple is like the main couple. Like Vision started to use his power more frequently around some of the side characters. They're going to start.
That's another thing I thought with the Doctor. When it was
exactly.
Speed, like he didn't even like.
And what he said after was like, people don't tend to leave this neighborhood. Yeah. So like, I reckon that everyone knows that Wanda is the person to avoid. So, I guess since we're talking about, like, I guess a warped reality and all of this, and how people in this utopia might perceive reality, a question which I found interesting. So, what do you remember, Zank? See, this is a perfect example of the question we just brought up.
Oh yeah, nice. I see what you're trying to
say. So, human memory has been shown to be incredibly unreliable. With that in mind, how do you know which of your memories are genuine and which have been altered or made up?
Okay. Let me come at it with another angle. So basically...
Okay. Thank you for the question, Anthony.
Simon, I've been rewriting shit all day. You know what I mean?
Fuck the question.
People took time.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, it was,
no, he got more. I
go.
Yeah, Vent.
Effort, you know. They were planning stuff for you to just come in and be like, nah, you know, I'm just gonna remix it, do it my own way. Like,
nah. Carry on.
No, this is a perfect example of the question that you're posing to me. So, imagine if you have some sort of contract that you've written out.
Okay.
But let's say for that contract to come into effect, both parties must have an updated version of that contract. Say. So for example, you wrote A on this piece of paper, between you and Darren, and Darren has a copy too. But if you change it now to AB, but he hasn't got AB, then that contract is not confirmed by Darren. Therefore, that contract is not the new update because he hasn't confirmed it.
Yeah. So the first one is the only valid one.
It's only valid when both parties, or all parties even, confirm this contract. Or this update. So this is kind of how cryptocurrency works.
Oh no! No! ACN, pull it up.
And
look at this guy.
I'm not going to go into depth for what cryptocurrency is.
I
don't
didn't.
know much of
Okay.
See how he turned this into a pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
This is.
I just want to see how he lands this because
I'm trying to.
So
Today's sponsor.
Memories, we all have unique memories of ourselves, right?
Yeah.
You're asking how do you know your memories are real?
Real, yeah.
So I guess
Unique memories of ourselves.
if your memories include other people, and they can also
so that's how you know
confirm that memory, then most likely then it's real.
Okay.
Well, we got there.
I still don't get the cryptocurrency bit though.
No.
I mean, he's sponsored.
That's clearly what he was dreaming about. So.
Yeah, he just hit it big.
Premonitions of
This guy's gonna try and bring me down, and he'll angle this topic back to positive thoughts.
So yeah, if your memories include other people, basically, then you can confirm them by having other people confirm them.
Then it would turn to if it's only a memory that you have and it's just you. So like, for example,
what if their memory's worse than yours? Like, what kind of contract is this?
Yeah, but say if it's like memories that only you would remember.
Okay.
So it only involves you and a dog, or like I don't know, you and like you and like I don't know, like something that's something that's not gonna.
Wait, why did you ask me that question?
I'm just
Well, he's like Sanchez vibes.
no.
What's going on here?
Dude, bruv, come on,
Marvel's
man.
got the A1 contract, AB.
So, for
Why are you
example,
asking me that question?
no.
I get it.
No, let him land.
But like, you can take your dog for a walk or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what
Okay.
you're
Why
not
did you choose
thinking
the dog
about.
then?
Because I'm thinking of something that can't tell
Okay,
you the memory back. That's what I'm trying to think of. But a dog is like, what would you want to say, monkey or something? Like, there's no other pets that I can think of straight away other than a dog.
Saying
So
with
say
his
for
pet
example,
monkey.
There's a cat.
yeah, but the first one that came to mind is a dog.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So okay, let's say I don't know,
Trying to cancel Darren.
just anything, yeah, that would you would have a memory of that no one else would also have a memory of.
Right.
Then what happens in your contract scenario?
So you can't really validate it because there's no other third party except for the dog, right?
So
So
did it
how do you
happen?
know then if
So
it's real or
you
if it's
can't for sure
yeah.
know that a memory that
Oh, he's proper fucked up your
You
conversation,
had-
Anthony, man.
or existed or ever existed,
Mm.
because it could be like Wandavision, you know, you could be like thinking your own kind of reality.
I mean, you missed that segue, but yeah. Nice.
No, because this is going back to what I was talking about a long time ago, but it was before.
Long time ago.
A long time ago, but this is before the whole telekinesis stuff.
Mm.
I think this is around the time I was asking you about. Have you seen Matrix?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I think. No.
he was-
Why are you asking him now?
Yeah, no, I'm not asking you now, but I was asking.
Yeah,
I got
that's
the
what I'm
sense you
saying.
want, so I just answered it anyway. Like,
I was like, yeah,
So this could be interesting because, like, do you even remember that conversation?
yeah.
Because that's when I was talking. Yes, that's it. Because that's when we
Did
were
it
talking
really
about.
happen?
Did it really happen?
That's it. Because we were talking about
Simulation, innit?
perception of realities, innit?
Okay.
Yeah.
And how like we all have our own reality, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But our realities are completely different. Like, oh, when I go outside and do this, when you lot leave and do this,
Mhm.
like it's completely different. But we're here, we have this.
You got that dynamic.
So
Yeah.
we don't know what
Mm.
happens after that. So this is kind of.
So really, what he said is kind of right then. Like, as long as
It had
as
nothing
long
to do
as
with cryptocurrency, though.
as long as other people, as long as other people can confirm what you remember, then it actually happens.
See, but I don't know if we're
But-
mistaking realities for dynamics.
Wait, before you go there, but that's only if you put credence in what other people
Think as well.
think
Yeah.
and believe
What their memories are.
in regards to you.
Because I could just lie to you and you wouldn't know.
Plus, I was also going to say, like, because of the way everyone thinks differently, the things you remember from the conversation we might have had, like, weeks ago, like you might take bits of it that's more important than bits I thought were important. So the way we like perceive the moment we're living in at the same time is completely different. Because you might be here, we're doing this podcast right now. First thing I can see a plant. You might be like, wait, what plant? The plant? Like he's had his glasses for him. Exactly. So you didn't realize the plant was there. See, I noticed. Like I've only just noticed.
I looked at because I wasn't expecting a plant. I wasn't expecting, man.
See, the way we see things is differently because I wouldn't have noticed like the color of that flower.
Yeah.
Or like he's had those glasses for months and I've not. I've only just noticed it in this pod. So like it's just it's interesting way of like even though you say like if you have other people around you, like the littlest things that I notice are completely different to what you're noticing and what he's noticing and what he's noticing and what Anubis notices. Yeah. So, yeah, even if we all try to like, oh yeah, remember time when we played basketball and then you fell? It's like, wait, I didn't fall, you fell. Like, it's just like the way we all perceive things and the way when we look back at things, our reality changes. It's like, that's like, what can you trust? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust what majority of people think? Or like, have you created this memory, like have you gone over it so many times in your head that this is now your truth, whereas it's not the actual truth? And how do you determine the truth?
It's like sometimes I feel like when I'll be in conversation and I'll be like, oh, it's just like that time when, and then I'll be trying to explain it and then no one else is thinking, and then I think like, have I just dreamt this? And no one else, and it happens to me a lot actually when I think about it, because I think it's either who did I have this conversation with, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I had this conversation with you, and they're like, no you didn't, and I'm like, oh shit. But then sometimes I definitely did have the conversation. I just don't remember when it was. But then sometimes I'm left thinking like, no, like where's this actually come from? But then sometimes like I'll wake up from a dream and be absolutely convinced it's true. And then I'll like check my phone, for example, to see if I'm still, I don't know, in contact with said person, if they're still alive or whatever. Like just, and obviously they are. But you wake up so convinced. So it could just work the other way as well. It could be that you've imagined it and it just sticks in your head thinking that, yeah, that's actually what happened. Then you go and talk to other people who have no idea what you're talking about, and you're just like, they think you're a weirdo.
So I guess the question is, how do we who are living in, or who are all living with our own like different perception of reality, how do we all come together and determine the truth?
Well, I don't know, like it's one of these things where whatever your experiences are, especially the shared ones, it's all like a puzzle, like you're saying, because it all fits. Yeah. Because for you saying not everyone's going to notice, say the plant, for example, maybe not everyone notices it, but like 2 out of 5 notice, and then 1 out of 5 notice that, and so you have, like Sang was saying, like whenever you bring those together, that puzzle has to fit in some way. Like you can't have, and this is like, it's kind of impossible, I think, to be like, okay, if 5 people are sharing an experience, there won't be anything that those 5 people miss altogether as far as that experience is concerned, like what they're actually doing. I'm not talking about like, say 5 of you are looking this way and then something's happening behind, and because none of you see it, it means it doesn't exist. I'm not talking about something like that. I'm talking about like that memory of like, if you're sharing that memory, then that fits. Like you're having conversations, or like you're saying something that triggers another memory, or you're saying something that triggers something in the environment. I don't know. Like I just feel like those things will fit because they happened.
So what you're saying is that if it's a memory that you only have, or that you feel like you only have, it's not going to fit in, or it might not fit.
Well, you're the only person who knows how it fits, because again, you're the only one who went through that. So as far as like fit goes,
that's the difference. So how do you know that it fits?
Yeah. So as far as fit goes, it doesn't have to be. I'm saying it doesn't have to be. It's not always things or conversations that you have. It could be like a feeling you had at something. Like it triggers something. Like you could pass a smell. Like you were thinking about something, but then the smell came at that exact same time, and so you associate that with this, or you remember a certain. Like so, for me, for example, whenever I try to remember things, I don't focus so much on the thing I'm trying to remember. I start to think about everything that happened around it. So I'll start to like, if someone says something, I'll think of like, if you're trying to remember what you said before, I'm not thinking of the conversation we're having then. I'm thinking about the conversation we had like minutes before that, and then work my way through. Or I'm looking at like what I was watching, like especially with YouTube videos. If I can't remember what I'll just look at something I was watching, like a related video that caught my eye. And if I can get that, then it would be in the recommended or something like that. Like I always like, there's always going to be something that you can sort of trace. Now, how long that is or how long that takes, like that depends on what the situation is. But I always think like there's always going to be traces of like that event or that thought or that memory, however minute that is. There's always going to be that, because again, it's happening like that. Even if like it's happening like virtually or whatever, like the actual part of you is experiencing that in some way. Now, if those don't fit, but you're convinced that you've sort of got that experience, then you start to bring in dreams, and there's a whole question of, well, how much are dreams are like part of your like you manifesting reality?
At the same time, dreams can give you probably some of the same feelings as well.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That's where it becomes murky.
But then it could be things where like, I don't know, I kind of take that to a larger conversation about time in itself, as far as like seeing the future or present, and whether or not those things are even separate, as far as like how you experience them. So it like you can't have that conversation in a one-dimensional way, I think, because like you bring in so many other elements. But as far as memory themselves, for me, it's just there's always going to be traces, and how convinced you are, in my mind, depends on how many of those traces you can link together.
So if we were to try and think about today, like how would we come back and try and remember today? Like, I guess. So
again, from what we've normally done, like how we normally like remember stuff, because conversations that we had, I might not necessarily remember all of it. So it would just be like one topic that we spoke about or sang sleeping kind of thing. Where like he doesn't even remember. Like when we go back and talk about it, like conversations we were talking about as far as the baseline and stuff. He wouldn't. Like, when we say that, it was the one we were talking about bases. Gone. He doesn't even know that. But it happened. It's part of that whole thing. But his version of that, obviously, is quite different. But then we'll give him another thing that happened with the trace. So like, oh, you woke up. Like, even when he woke up and like looked at us weird, he's still gonna remember that. Like, he probably doesn't even know he did that.
He did it twice.
so it's like there's always gonna be traces where you can sort of.
And then he was crawling on the floor.
Exactly, but he doesn't even know whether or not we're making that up, because like you did some shit.
I think in short, if you have other people to validate your memories, then that makes it easier. But if you have no one to validate it with you, then that brings in some sort of complication, because you can't really confirm whether something happened or not. I think maybe in the future, though, the applications, if like technology increases to some crazy extent where you can actually store your memories, like, I don't know, like a computer stores its data, let's say like 25 years from now, then that would be the way to confirm memories.
But even then, those could be manipulated.
Even then, they can be manipulated and whatever.
Before we get there, how long do you lot think like the short-term memory lasts?
I think it varies from person to person, because a lot of that stuff you can actually exercise.
Yeah, I guess. What is the definition of short-term memory again?
While he's looking at have you guys seen Black Mirror, right? Those Black Mirror episodes.
I have not seen all of it.
There's
which one?
Like one of the first couple of ones. I think it's the second one or the third one. It's the one with the guy
with the iPhone.
Exactly, the memory thing where his wife cheats on him and stuff like that. They've got a very interesting concept of.
One of your favorite movies is about someone losing the memory. You should talk about that.
What, Memento?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's a sick movie.
That Black Mirror one really got me as far as
he's got short-term memory. Sorry, let me know. Yeah, short-term memory is information that a person is currently thinking or is aware of it. It's also currently primary or active memory. So basically, it's the memory of the now, like kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's short-term memory often encompasses events. Yeah, it's basically over like 30 seconds. It says 30 seconds to several days, but it's basically like kind of.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on how you train yourself.
It's mainly like kind of like 20 to 30 seconds. Memento. Yeah, Memento is sick. Directed by, obviously, if you know, you know. And who's the main guy? Guy Pearce, isn't it? Yeah. So the film, I forgot how the film starts. I don't know how the film starts. But basically the film goes in one way, in that, well, the main guy has short-term memory in it, so like he's writing like kind of, he has to write everything on his body because he kind of forgets every 5 minutes or something like that. But the film is going in like backwards, like every scene is backwards. So the first scene that happens, and then the second scene happens before the first scene, if that makes sense. But the film goes backwards that way, and then there's parts of the film where it goes in chronological order, and it's just a good way of how you look at. not only time, but how important memory is, because once you get to the end of the film, you realize the kind of no spoilers, but like the manipulation that can come with not having your memory intact, like that, and it's like right, and it's almost like obviously you're glad that you have like a healthy memory and kind of thing. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, short-term memory, and obviously there's people who have long-term memory loss, so I don't know how that even occurs, kind of thing. But yeah, that's a good film just to watch on like short-term memory and memory in general.
So, there's another question I saw on the website, which was kind of like, I guess it links to this one a little bit, which is it's pretty much how, like, when do you lose your current self? Like, does the you that exists now, is it the same you that is in the past and the same you that's going to be in the future? Like, do they all merge into one person, or do you just like refresh after a certain point? Because then my question would be, like, if you kept on like writing notes to yourself about, oh, this is what happened today. Like, if you start like recording yourself, like, hey, this is what happened today. Hey, Anthony, this is what's happened.
So you're saying like they're all different people?
Yeah. So if you look, at text messages you sent like years ago, you're like, what? I would never say this now. But like, if you keep having like video diaries of yourself saying, this is what you should do in case of this event, how would you trust yourself to, like, would you trust the person that's was you but isn't you anymore?
I know
so like, like when you tell future you never to do this, like in New Girl, for example, where Nick tells himself in the future to not go back with his ex-girlfriend. It's like, can you trust yourself to...
Yeah. The movie I had in mind was 50 First Dates. It was like one of those Adam Sandler movies. So the woman...
Is that Jennifer Aniston?
No, someone else. But the woman in there, she goes through a car crash and she loses like her memory. She can only make new memories for like 24 hours. But after those 24 hours, she's like starts afresh again.
Oh, like Groundhog Day.
Yeah. So at the end of the film, she pretty much gets with the main character and she records videos of herself. And then she just says, oh, like, this is who I've met. This is what you've interacted with. And then going forward, like these are people you can trust and stuff. But then how like much weight would you put on a person who, even though it's you, like, and they have the memories that you've experienced but you can't remember anymore? How much would you put emphasis on what that person is saying?
I feel like for me, okay, the whole 24-hour thing, I don't know how personally I would be able to like approach that.
I guess it's more like, how would you, like, if you have a recording of yourself speaking to your future self, but it's over like a memory you can no longer remember as your current self.
Yeah.
Like how
sure can I be of myself?
Yeah.
That okay. So it's like in what's that film? I think it's James McAvoy. You know when there's the
Split.
I think it is when he has the recording.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, yeah.
But that was more like multiple personalities.
Yeah,
but I guess to be fair,
the
that
thing,
works.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like at this point, and if it was a future version, I feel like I'll be, because I feel like
even if it's your point now, but a past version of you is telling you
how past though, because I feel like after a certain point, yes, I'm the same person, but I feel like at a certain point I kind of shift. Like I shifted and things were different. Not I don't know how to explain that point, but like kind of morally and blah blah blah. That was different.
So if it was you like a week ago,
same person. Yeah, no, I mean like years ago.
Okay, let's say 1 year ago then.
Yeah, same. Yeah, same.
Okay.
If it was me, let's say first year uni.
Okay.
Different. No, actually, the year before that, actually.
Does it matter like what time it is? Because like you don't really, because the event they're talking about you can't remember. So even if it was you yesterday, and you can't remember what they're talking about, like does it?
So yeah, I probably believe myself. I believe myself.
So the thing is,
because I'm into sci-fi and stuff in general, so I'd be excited at the prospect of like being able to talk my future self. So I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, this is it news. You know what I mean? So listen to me, and I'd put a little coded something in there.
I would try to put like but like you don't remember any of these codes or the event.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I would try to put some like sci-fi element and be like, oh, what if these are like shapeshifters?
Yeah. Nah.
But like if we keep it grounded, like
No, but this is the thing. Like the premise of that question.
I believe myself. That's the premise of that question.
Yeah, like the premise of that question was based on like people changing, right? Like how much of you is the same you from, let's say, when you were 5 compared to when you were 16 compared to when you're 26.
Would you believe yourself if there was another version of yourself now, like, and they were talking to you and it was basically you? Would you believe them? Like, would you believe yourself?
Yeah, I would. If they would have to tell me it's like, again, like not adding in like someone from a different timeline or whatever.
So it's you,
like,
but
it's
in a recording format.
Exactly. Then yes, I'd believe myself.
Even though you have no recollection of anything they're talking about.
Yeah, like I'd believe myself because then
no recollection.
None.
Oh, I don't know about that because I don't do that.
It's quite scary.
Yeah, I've never blacked out. I'm not one of them people that drink and black out.
Yeah, so I think the thing is, like with me generally, I'll like, depending on what they're saying, like when you say something, like I would have to judge that based on that person that's there. I'll take that information because I can't just throw that away. Like I'll take that information, but I'm going about it as like, okay, I'm going through it because I'm going through it, and then if something comes up that triggers the video I just watched, then I'll like.
Does it sound like
apply that?
Do I feel like it sounds like me?
So
what
it's
the person said that I've done.
So the person in question is you, but your past self.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then they're talking about something, but
okay,
you just can't remember it.
But does present me feel like, okay, yeah, I could have seen myself doing that, or does present me feel like, I don't really think I could have done that.
It depends on how far back the you in question is.
Okay, because I thought a lot would depend on that.
Mm-hmm.
But and if I feel like I've never done that and had no recollection, I think you could scroll straight away. That was my first one. I'll be like, no, you ain't trapping me.
It's a scroll.
Like, nah. But
did they copy your superpowers or?
Yeah, a lot of things could have happened since December 21st. We just
certain man are jealous, you know what I mean?
I didn't even get powers.
That's what I'm saying. Sleeping, no powers. Meanwhile, I'm sleeping, I'm regenerating. You know what I mean?
It's just multiple clones of us just out there.
I think the question that you're asking, Anthony, is kind of, it doesn't really apply to the situation you described because
you're like imaginative.
You know the 50 First Dates scenario, and if you're hearing a recording from yourself from the past, I guess that would require like a change of or I guess time.
It's basically just a time capsule.
Yeah, like a time capsule. So, but you can confirm that. Like, say for example, it's the year 2023, but you missed 2022 and 2021. But every like the whole world has gone to 2022. Like all the newspapers are printing 2022. That's the dates.
Okay.
And you can't remember the last 2 years, but in the 50 First Dates scenario, the person describes, oh, you lost your memory up to 2021, and you won't remember anything from past that. So you're kind of confirming that with everyone else. So that's the validation you get from everyone else. Well, I'm guessing what I assume you was asking was, how do you validate the memories that's already happened back in your past? If that makes sense. So like for when you were 5 years old.
It was more like how do you trust the memories that either you've told yourself have happened, like from a past self, like either a recording of yourself telling you this is what happened in the future, and then take caution going forward, or how do you trust an event that you yourself can't recollect, but other people can recollect? So one, yeah.
What about scenarios where no one can recollect except for yourself? So no one to validate. It's just your own memory.
Yeah, like how much trust do you put in all of these scenarios?
I see.
Do you trust your own memory, basically?
I think, again, when it involves other people, pretty much 98 to 100%, you can validate it and trust it.
If you trust them.
if you trust them. But if it's just yourself, then you have to like lean towards 95% to 90%.
So you're saying you trust other people more than yourself, yourself.
I think there's more reason to validate something if other people also can confirm what happened.
Okay. Do you know what it is? With like my memory, for example, I think generally speaking, I'm not great at remembering stuff. Like,
can I quickly interrupt?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were Darrened?
When I was Darrened?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't
that's you.
I don't even think I remember.
No,
but I don't think I remember because I'm not sure what you mean by Darren.
Sushi.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you were there too.
Oh yeah.
Wait, why is that Darren?
No, because it happened to you.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, because it happened to me. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
So
but again, that is going to lead into what I said. So I remember how I felt at the time more than what actually happened.
Mm.
That's how, yeah, so in that instance, rage.
Wait, does Precious know what happened?
I don't think I do.
So when we went to go eat Korean or something, and what I bought was not what I paid for. Apparently, I paid for someone else's meal as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
These two random girls, they left before.
Yeah, they left, and so
I heard this story.
for whatever reason, I had to pay. I don't know why, but
took a nice dessert home, though.
Yeah,
nice box and everything. It was nice.
But yeah, I tend to remember things in how I felt at the time. So which I guess a lot of people do. But obviously, if you're happy, if you're sad, and whatever. But then, like, I won't generally remember the what happened or the full scenario. So like an example. Like when I go out and drink, for example, a lot of the time, I wouldn't say I black out, but most of the nights I don't remember. But then when people relay it to me, then I'll be like, okay, shit, yeah, I remember being pissed off here, or I remember being happy here, I remember this, and then that's how I can sort of piece things together. And then it's the same with my normal memory. So I'll generally remember how I felt at the time, or like. But then, for example, I can speak to my dad, and he'll say to me, we'll be talking about football, and he'll be like, do you remember back in like 2007 this game when blah 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 scored? I'm like, no, I can't fucking remember that, but he can remember it so well. So his way of how he remembers things is completely different to mine. But and then for another example, what I find is strange, but it makes sense. When you smell something and then it makes you remember a time, or like, don't you think that's fucked? Like, that is crazy. like you, bad example, but
familiarity.
Like signatures.
Familiarity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you'll smell like, say, a girl's perfume, and you'll remember a girl from the past, or you'll smell like something that you smell and you remember exactly where you were when you smelled it. Like, that is crazy when you think about it. Like,
I guess that's how you'd have the validation as far as like trust, because if it's something you've been through, then it goes back to the first conversation about like other traces of that, like other signatures around that, that just you like there's an innateness to that feeling that just, okay, that sounds like me. Even if you wouldn't necessarily act that way now, like you can say, okay, I was kind of like that. You just you sense things, or like this, the whole sixth sense theory.
So like in my one, then if I can't remember how I felt at the time, that would be my lack of trust.
Like that would be your first like trigger to be like,
did that actually happen?
Exactly.
Yeah. But then that's where for me the dreams are mad, because I know I was pissed in the dream. Like, I know I was angry at something, or I woke up because of that anger.
So do you lot think you have a good memory?
I think I've got a good memory. It depends. Like, it
depends.
Yeah, like, and I'm saying it depends because the things I would, if I'm dedicating memory time, so like if I know it's something I'm conscious about, then my memory works well with those. Like a lot of the things that my memory aren't very good at is like peripheral stuff or anything I deem not important. Yeah. And like the conscious me, like if I deem it to be,
if someone was able to like recall something that happened in the day, that you both were there, would you be able to eventually recall some part of the day as well
on the same day?
Yeah, it depends. Again, it depends on. It depends. Yeah, I'll probably. It depends on exactly whether or not I was paying attention. Because again, if it's not important to me, like I'm telling you, there are people I've had long conversations with, like human beings that I've interacted with, that I could not tell you about them. Like my mom would describe people from back home, like nothing. It doesn't even trigger anything. But if I see them, I'll know. Okay, yeah, you're here.
So, like for me, how it would work if it was his scenario of a full day. Would you say you remember key points of it, or like, so you won't remember the odd conversation you'll have with a random person, but you'll remember like say, the time where, I don't know, you spoke to, say, your girlfriend or the girl that you liked or something like that.
Exactly. Like that, whatever interaction I have to deem that interaction as important because again, like you say that, but I can remember like going into a shop and like simple like interaction with like the shopkeeper or like, oh, did you have this? And I remember that.
You remember when I turned you in basketball and your ankles went.
Oh,
You remember that?
I don't remember that.
That didn't happen. That definitely didn't happen.
You remember that?
Like, no. That definitely didn't happen.
It only happened once.
That
Remember-
definitely
It's
didn't
like
happen.
when
I haven't used it.
when Andy killed me.
yeah. See, everyone
Like,
remembers
everyone
that.
remembers that.
Bro, you see,
See, I remember the time when I did like a behind the bars, like back pass through your legs, but then you couldn't finish the layup.
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember.
It was in sixth form.
I don't
in the-
remember my
in the
failures.
hall.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, when Anub was saying it, like, gave me a crossover, like, when those kinds of things happen, like things people would think embarrassing and then they erase it out of memory. Like for me, I don't think I'm a sore loser anyway, and I'm not because
No one said you are.
No, I'm
They just-
I'm
your
leading
ankles went-
somewhere. Nah, I'm leading somewhere. So usually
Like
when
Derek
that happens
Rose.
to people is when something
meet
kind
red
of
table, you know what I
like
mean?
something negative happens, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they kind of erase it.
So you
Like,
remember like the pain of it or like.
exactly. Like I can remember the pain of something
Of his
happening.
I don't
ankles.
mean in this situation.
I can remember.
He still feels it.
Muscle memory.
Someone check those ankles.
He knows I didn't mean it like that.
Like
Talk
you
about
walk a
muscle
certain
memory.
way. Like you walk a certain way and you remember shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you link like I'm not one to sort of like ignore like painful experiences because it was painful, I don't want to think about it anymore. Like if I have to like go past that, then yeah. So
That's called trauma,
exactly.
which also alters and distorts memories. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Makes it feel like, ooh.
Exactly, but again, a lot of that depends on like I don't know, like your personality or whatever. I'm not one to like I can't say never, but so far in my life, I've not like been one way to shy from any kind of experience or trauma, so to speak. Like whatever, every painful experience I've been through, I remember exactly why, when, how it happened, or like what I took away from it. So it's not. I don't think it's that.
Do you know what's mad though? Like now I think about it, there've been some times where I've woken up from a dream and someone has done me wrong in the dream, and then I've kind of shown some kind of animosity towards them, like either when they text me or when I next see them, and then I have to think like, wait, was that a dream or not? Like
It's like one of those girlfriends, like,
Yeah,
oh, you
just-
cheated
you're
on me in my
never-
dream.
yeah. Isn't it like, oh, you cheated on me in my dream? Yeah.
Was it from one of us?
No.
Do you feel slighted?
People sorry for that dog comment.
You know when someone describes something and you're guilty, no one knows you're guilty, but you start looking around like shit. They're onto me.
For me?
Like you try and clear the air, like go in front of them, like yo, are you talking about me?
I was just trolling Darren because of that video of that reporter that I was talking to Donald Trump, and he called it the China virus, and she was like, "Why did you specify that question to me?" That's the reason why.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I think I heard that interaction, but it was like, what was the
Yeah.
backtrack?
So, yeah.
That's legendary.
I had something else I was gonna say, but it's gone, man.
Trauma.
Memory.
Yeah, this is it. That's my one killer thing about my memory is the way I forget things. It's quick, and I don't get why it is because.
So you would say you don't have a good memory?
It depends though, because I can remember events or some like things that happen, but then my concentration is awful, which means that I can think things, and then if I talk about one other thing, then
That's the important thing because you never really like. There's a theory that goes like you never really forget anything.
yeah,
It's a question of how easily your brain can access it.
yeah, and that's it. There was a show that I used to watch called The Mentalist. I don't know if everyone's seen it.
That's a section.
But it's about a guy who he can like read, basically read people just by sort of seeing what they do, and like you can tell a lot about you and stuff like that. But he was giving or talking to someone about how he remembers things, and obviously it's just a show in it, but I think people have done it where they use certain parts of their brain of what they've created, like of their mind, to store things. So they use like say a certain section where they know that if they think of something, they can get to this next thought because they've gone that pathway.
Yeah.
It sounds mad when you think about it. So for me to remember what I did when I was say 15, I have to remember a key point of when I was 15, which will then make me remember, okay, I felt like this,
you know
I
what's
felt
mad?
like that.
I'm not gonna say it's the same thing because I don't know the intricacies of how I explained it, but like I don't remember specific points about like just me as a child growing up and stuff. But I have like markers. So if I was looking at, if you told me something happened when I was 6, the first thing that comes to my mind is when I was 10 and my birthday at 10. And then I work my way back. Okay, like it couldn't be this far past that or this far past that. And then I kind of like I narrow it down until I remember exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes it's exact, sometimes it's kind of in the ballpark. So it's like I have like there's significant points that are like sort of like landmarks in my memory where I don't go back to that specific point. Like I remember my birthday when I was 1 year old, and it's crazy using birthdays because I'm not like a birthday person. Because like the last birthday I had was when I was 10.
You remember your first birthday?
I do.
I don't like.
Okay.
No,
I believe you. I believe you.
I've got like really young memories too.
I believe you.
Yeah, like I know people who like remember like.
I mean,
shit,
I remember
it's
shit
weird,
before.
but like they just do. But I remember my again. I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to describe my life when I was 1 or anything. But
They
that
do
birthday,
say memories start from the womb, so just remember that. You know what I mean?
no, they actually like it's actually.
You're laughing like that's
yeah,
not
it's
science.
plausible. But like I remember, I don't remember like all my experiences at one, but I remember my first birthday. I don't know what it is. Like
What
that
cake
day.
was it?
It was like it was a normal vanilla cake, but it was, I don't remember the icing. It was like white.
We need to go back to pictures.
It was white with like,
I'm high or something, bro.
yeah, it was
I
white
remember
with
my
like
first
blue. It
ever
was like
memory.
blue green, like you know, one of these like not like I don't know if you know the name of these sweets.
Is he having us on?
No.
No, you know,
Genuinely, I think it's
there's these like nut things that had colors on them. I can't remember what they were called. There was a specific brand in Nigeria, but like those they're kind of like M&Ms. But like there's a brand in Nigeria that's specifically called. So it was something like that. It was around the cake and it was blue and white.
So if you ask
like alternating.
your parents this, they will say the same thing.
Yeah, but if they remember, but
They
yes,
remember,
yeah, exactly. But like I remember the clothes I was wearing. It was like a blue, like you know these clothes Nigerians call like bada. Like you know, obviously, like I had like a little blue one, like sky blue. Like I remember it, like that birthday. I remember that day. But again, I couldn't tell you like a lot of things around.
Are there
like,
pictures of your first birthday?
Yeah, but they don't exist anymore. That's the thing. They don't, because when we left Nigeria, like a lot of like our family stuff like they don't exist. And last time I looked at those albums, even when I was in Nigeria, was probably when I was like 12.
Okay.
See, I don't know how far my memories go back in terms of being able to mark them, but I know, like for example, of when I lived in certain places. So like when I lived in like say the first house I remember. So like one mad story is when I used to live in Charlton when I was a kid, and I, for whatever reason, as a kid, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but as a kid I was a bastard. Like I just used to do dumb shit, like, and I was just a bad kid in it. So
I said I was
You said Jon Snow.
Snow, you know.
My goodness.
nah, Jon Snow, you know.
Look at this
No,
guy.
so
That's what you said.
Oh, you mean like a bastard? Okay, yeah.
God.
I guess that's
Victorian sang here, you know.
So basically,
how dare you?
I just used to cause mischief in it, and so I remember as a kid, I used to
Dennis
know
You just
that.
invalidated your whole parents. Like
Dennis the Man.
Yeah, basically,
I remember-
you could have said Dennis the Menace, yeah. So basically, I remember as a kid, and I actually remember the front door being the door to the outside world, innit?
Daenerys.
So as a kid, I used
The red door.
So I used to literally see people leave and be gone all day and come back, and I'm like, "Where the fuck you been?" Like that kind of thing. So
I feel like that's how my dog thinks. You know.
Oh, snap.
yeah, that's basically it. That's what I'm saying. So I don't really know how old I was at this point, but this is one of the earliest memories I have. So I remember that's the thing, and me, obviously, twin brother, and my sister who's older than me.
You
so
got a twin?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
You did, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Like I know you have a brother,
You got bad-
but I didn't know it was a
Let's not
twin.
do this now, man. Let's not do this now. Do you know how much I hate this conversation?
Unless you've told me sometime and I forget. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so
But
And then
you have a
my
good
older-
memory, you know.
yeah, to be fair, I don't know if I've actually told him.
No, again, like I know. I remember meeting your brother. I know you have a brother.
I've definitely.
remember
like,
you met
I've,
his
I've
brother.
stood next to him.
Yeah,
when we
I
were in
remember
sixth
him
form
looking like
together.
you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
okay,
remember him
yeah,
looking
yeah,
like you,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
just didn't.
okay.
I didn't know you were a twin.
But anyways, so I remember, like I said, the door is the door, front door. Like, it's a big thing. So I think one point my dad used to work night shifts in it, so he used to sleep during the day, and I think, or at that point even my mum was asleep, one of the two. But anyway, so me, my sister, and my brother were all just, alright, this is it. We need to go outside and we need to open this door like without our parents, basically. So I think I climbed on one of them to lift me up to the latch that's on the top, because for whatever reason this latch was on the top, which is kind of mad. So open the latch now, and I go outside and I just start running. Like So I come out the flat, walk outside, go right, and I start running. And I remember seeing like the buses like going past. You know, like where Cherry Orchard is. You know, there's those kind of shops that's there. So I was coming up that sort of long road. And I remember seeing the buses, and I remember thinking, all right, fuck it, I'm just going to get on the bus. Then some random guy just picks me up. And he was just like, kind of like, where you going kind of thing.
They're trying to pick me up.
Yeah, literally. Luckily for me, it was someone that my dad knew, because that could be anyone. I could have been done. But and then he took me back to my dad's or whatever. But I remember that so clearly. And when I think about, I think I was probably like 3 or 4. Like I was a baby. Like I was a kid. Like well, maybe not baby, but yeah, I was a kid, and I remember that, and I'll always remember that. But again, that's an event.
Woo! What Liverpool sound for me though? Jeez.
Yeah, that's an event, innit? That's something where.
Sorry.
I've obviously said the story better times as well, which helps my memory. But like I know that happened because my dad can also say the same thing. But yeah, stuff like that. I can remember things like that. But then, like I said, I'll be going to say something and someone will say something else. My mind will switch and I can't get it back sometimes. Like how many times have I been on this pod and I'm like, oh, I was going to say something, but I can't remember. Like I do it like once a pod. So.
Nah, it's crazy because like those markers are real. Like I don't know, like you guys have triggered that whole 1 year thing, and I'm like remembering things.
Yeah,
around
that's
that.
fucked, man. That's mad. And no one else was laughing. I thought someone was gonna laugh.
Nah, I've got memories like really young as well.
Nah, like it's
like not specific as a whole event.
You couldn't even speak, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know how. I can't explain it to you, but I remember, bro. I was crying about taking the picture. I remember exactly. They had to like move me. I remember exactly where we took the picture. There used to be like this gutter that ran through the compound, and so like just behind it, there was like this grayish wall, and that's kind of like the big space where they could fit most of the children. Like, bro, I remember like that. I could go back to that day, but again, like I wouldn't like. Again, like it's limited because I'm remembering. If I go back to that day, I'm looking at it from myself looking out. Like I can't see I can't remember a lot of things around it. I just know I'm in that sort of little dome of my own existence.
I have a question to pose to you boys. You guys seen Harry Potter, right?
I haven't seen any of it.
You ain't seen no Harry Potter, no Matrix.
Wow.
You ain't seen bad things.
Harry Potter, I'll probably never ever watch.
Okay.
I'll send you a list.
I can't do it. I will probably never ever watch.
So anyway, there's a.
I stand Harry Potter, man. That's
there's a magical object in Harry Potter called. I think it's called a pensieve. Pensieve?
Is that the mind thing?
The memory ball.
Yeah.
Would you guys like, if you guys could, would you guys watch like a video of your entire life up until now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'd watch like.
No.
I would.
I'd watch year 10 and 11 of school because those were my best years. Easily.
Oh, that's sad.
Nah, I don't give a fuck, man. Those were my best years, man.
You know what's bad? I said that saying, thinking like, yeah, I don't even want to be like someone that like has regrets and stuff, like being like, oh yeah, like these are my years and and then he says that and then you say that. It's just.
Well, what do you mean like best years
like,
of your life?
As in, I didn't have to work. Like school was
Okay.
school. Like I didn't have to pay bills. I didn't have to work. I didn't have stress.
I thought you meant just moving forward, like everything's dark.
Everything is
like,
like.
I wasn't aware enough that those were the years that I wouldn't have that much stress in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was still in stress. So I was just in permanent stress. So it's like, I feel like these are the years that I'm not in stress, but here we are in a pandemic. So it's like, out of world stress. So.
Like, and back then I had nothing too stressed about really. Like school was like school. It wasn't actually stressful. Like not to be big headed, but like I was top of my set. So I obviously had the ability to do stuff, and I had the knowledge or whatever. So it wasn't stress. So the only thing I did was wake up, go to school. Waking up at fucking 7 a.m. was calm for some reason back in the day.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mad.
I didn't have to pay bills. Like, all right, fair enough. I didn't really have much money, but cool. Like, I didn't really need it.
Catch the clangers at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys
I'll come home, like, watch TV shows.
You guys weren't in Talis at the time.
No, I was in Kibrook.
Kibrook and
He was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. These two were playing blackjack and maths.
Yeah,
You
even playing blackjack.
Yeah.
In the back of the class, they were just like, playing blackjack.
Even like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. Like,
Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh.
I never got into
Primary
it.
school vibes.
Yeah.
Nah, I never got into
Yeah.
that. Nah.
My brother's heading.
All I knew was I watched a TV show
Yeah, you was there.
and Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it's like that's about it.
Even just coming home and watching like Dragon Ball Z and like
Dragon Ball Z.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
You used to draw
Beyblade.
Dragon Ball Z characters all the time in year 6. Yeah, I got you to draw me a few characters.
Did you?
Yeah. I think I still got some.
The validation.
Actually, no, I don't. Nah.
It was just such a carefree lifestyle. Like there was nothing to worry about back then. But I still don't think I enjoyed it as much as I should have, because now I just think about all the time where I have to wake up, go to like do work, and I'm so tired now when I wake up. Whereas back in the day, I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and be calm all day.
Did you see me sleeping earlier? That's how tired I am.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I would definitely do that. I'll definitely
watch it.
There'd obviously be parts I'd want to skip.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that I would have done differently. I already just thinking about it.
Why are you shaking your head, Anubis?
I don't even know. The parts I want to skip are like just the quiet moments. Like, okay, if I'm watching TV, then I'll just like forward that because I'm just
you'd watch your whole life in like ×2, wouldn't you?
Of course. Bro, I'll go ×5 because a lot of my life is just watching, like sitting down, observing people and like making my own thoughts. But I remember we were having a conversation. I was like, a lot of my like just interactions with people, like my life, I don't have a lot of like significant like life experiences. Whenever things have happened to me, they've happened in clusters. Like there'll be like a 6-month space in time when I've gone through mad changes, and then I can remember those, and then a lot of it, or like I don't have many events, like I don't go to parties, I don't have this. So a lot of me is just sitting down. If my parents took me out, I'll be sat down wherever they left me, just watching people. Like that's me. Like I've always been like, it's just a lot of. That's why I would just ×3, because again, a lot of it is up here. Like I was never one to run around. I was not a bad kid like that, like running around. They put me here, that's where you find me, bro. Like my brothers would keep running, and I'll be looking around just to keep track of where they are. But I will, like, you will find me where you left me.
I gotta like ask me that question again when I'm 50, or even like if you're giving me a 10-year interval, give me from now. No,
even 6 months is a lot.
No, from last year to like these next 10 years. Like,
what about your previous 15 years or 20 years?
Nah, we can. it's about the future.
Do you know what it is though?
Kylo vibes, innit? Kill the past.
Watching it, even watching it when we're 50, like we still have to go through this pandemic shit. I'm skipping it, or just making a tea or something.
No, I'm not.
Pandemic was huge realization.
Definitely
our happy realization.
I'm definitely because like this whole pandemic shit, life changed. Like not just from like actual shit happening, but just like mentality is changing in a lot of ways.
I mean, how has it been affecting you guys? Because for me, I personally have been like working throughout the entire thing, and I'm supposed to be, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like the same for me. Besides, if anything, I'm working. I'm working more, like now than ever before. Yeah. So I don't know how it's affected you guys, but for me, it's more stress.
For me, I'm not someone who gets stressed over like. Yeah. Well, the way I view life, I guess, I don't tend to put too much importance on things. Like if I don't have enough time to care about it.
Oh, that was a counter.
Okay.
That was a counter. Sorry. No, Greenwood scored. That was peak.
Oh, it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Greenwood scored. Oh, Greenwood. Mad.
That was so. Where were you, Trent? Where were you? Oh.
Generation.
Anyway.
Fucking. I saw all of that coming. I saw it. That was a good finish of this right foot.
Anubis and his premonition. But anyway, carry on. But I don't tend to put too much importance on things. Obviously, like there's a whole pandemic, but like things that I could be missing out on, like I don't care enough about like having those experiences when there's something bigger up front. Like I could be going out, see more people. But there's a pandemic, so I can't be depressed about something that I have no control over.
Right.
So for me, it's just been about. I mean, I've been lucky enough to work. I've got a new role which will help me become like a qualified clinical scientist in like 3 years. And during this whole pandemic, I was able to have a month off from work when I was switching from role to role. So it's a bit busy now with like how much samples and stuff we've had to have at the hospital. And exams and stuff, but I'm thankful. I'm still here. I've had corona. I'm still here. My family is still here. Friends are still here. So yeah, I'm just grateful. But
how are you boys? Like,
I don't know.
Religious, but amen.
Negatively or something?
No. Like